this shit. The weather, not the movie. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Someone's that mad at this movie, they're, I don't know, a racist flat earther? Like, I don't know. Really didn't like this movie. Dude, why'd you go see it? It's weather sucks out here. We've been in here for like 20, 30 minutes. It's heating up the car.
Yeah, Brad's beginning to regret midnight screenings at about this moment.
Every year, man. Every year around this time. Because it's... I mean, aside from like the Oscar movies that are coming out, I mean, January is typically, it's January in terms of movies. When you get shit like The Bye Bye Man and Monster Trucks coming out, and then it's just adds insult to injury that it's also the coldest time of year. So we'd be in the car freezing our balls off, reviewing The Nut Job. Meanwhile, Dave and Sarah are in the next car over reviewing I, Frankenstein.
Oh man, I don't know who got the worst of that one.
I don't know either. I never saw I, Frankenstein. I can only vouch for how not very good The Nut Job is. Well, we just got out of Hidden Figures. Not like that kind of January movie. This is I'm sure they're probably reaching out for some award recognition for this.
Definitely.
It's one that got like some select screenings, I think late December, and it's finally gotten a wide release this weekend. And it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah. It's a really good, uplifting, inspirational flick. It's all about a lot of things, honestly. Like, it was really several things about it.
Deals with racism, sexism,
the space race.
Yeah, it covers a lot.
Yeah, quite a bit, and even covering other things too about the fact of how they're a unit of human computers in an age where they're just getting this giant monster IBM computer machine, and
I think that was still one of my favorite scenes of them making the door bigger. I love that.
It's too big to fit through the door. We gotta get the sledgehammer. And how they're at a point where a lot of them actually might be out of work because of how much quicker the computer can do what they're doing. It was really cool seeing a lot of that stuff. And yeah, what we're seeing is it's three main characters, even though the one is really...
Yeah, the mathematician would be what you would consider the quote-unquote main character.
Yeah.
And then her boss and their other friend kind of have side stories going on, different respective stories, whether, like I said, some of it deals with, the boss was trying to become a supervisor.
Yeah, and she becomes the first African-American female supervisor. The other one wants to be an engineer, in which she becomes the first in that field and has to go through the hurdles of getting into night school to do that because Virginia still recognizes segregation. And then meanwhile, you have what's her name?
Her last name's Henson. I always butcher her first name.
Yeah, from No Good Deeds.
Yeah.
And she's great here. She's more or less the main character of this movie.
She definitely gets most of the focus of the story.
Which her story is the most captivating out of all of them. But then again, it's because it is given the most screen time. Like, so much of the movie is devoted to her character and her story that when it got back to some of the others, I felt bad. I kind of forgot a little bit.
Yeah. you know that stuff's happening, but then it gets back to her like, oh yeah, we've been following you for 30 minutes, and then, here's a side story. She's trying to become an engineer. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Things that she's got to go through too, man. It's like just the hurdle that is the 1960s, that is 1961, She's trying to put together all these fractions, all these equations, so John Glenn doesn't burn alive.
Yeah.
And so we can get into outer space. But then there's all this 1961 bullshit, like dealing with the segregated bathrooms where the colored bathroom is like a half mile away from there. which leads to a great scene where Kevin Costner just chops down the colored bathroom sign.
Oh, I loved it when she stood up to him
Yeah.
finally about that. Where have you been? Well, I had to run all the way over, however long it was, far it was away, to go use the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's like, excuse me for having to pee, basically, a few times
Kevin
a day.
Costner puts an end to that shit. He
That is
single-handedly ends racism in this movie.
With a crowbar.
With a crowbar. That was badass. Between that, the colored coffee machines,
that was cruel, man.
and racist Sheldon Cooper's grandfather.
Yeah, man. It was almost uncomfortable because all you ever see him in is like the geeky role, and he is kind of a geek in this too because he's kind of like the underboss to Kevin Costner's character. But then, he's sexist, he's racist, and
you know
it just
what?
kind of makes you feel uncomfortable. He's not going to be saying bazinga anytime soon.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. He is all of that in this movie, and is more likable in this film than Sheldon Cooper. This guy's got like a stick up his ass.
Yeah.
I'd rather hang out with him than Sheldon Cooper.
Well, it's more this character is misguided.
Yeah.
He has things to learn as these movies usually give you, where Sheldon Cooper is just an a-hole.
Right. He is good in this. I've
Yeah,
always said, like, as much
definitely.
as I don't like that show or that character, Big Bang Theory, whenever I see him in any kind of interview or something like that, he always seems like the sweetest guy.
Yeah.
He seems really genuine, down to earth, funny. It makes me feel bad that I hate that show so much and that character. So I've always kind of been like, I'd really like to see him in something that's not that.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's not a lot beyond Big Bang Theory that I have seen him in. I know he's been in other stuff. Like,
yeah, well, he's going to be typecast. I mean, he's been that character for so long. I mean, I'm not going to say it's Urkel bad.
No.
But he's going to be able to get other roles, and he has gotten other roles.
And he is really good in this. Honestly, it was easy for me to forget the fact, given how he isn't he also doesn't he also work for NASA on that show, or doesn't one of them work for NASA or something?
I haven't watched that show since like the first season, so I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I stopped caring really quick.
Beyond that, it's like I had no problem seeing him in this movie.
No, definitely not.
I was never really sitting there like, oh, there's Sheldon being Sheldon. I'm like,
no, definitely not.
It's, you sit there and you watch a movie like this, and you sit there like, if people could just stop being assholes, like if people could stop being assholes, and if dumb people could just sit in a corner and play with a ball and stop trying to run things, we'd be living in Tomorrowland right now.
Well, it's just, the whole message of the movie ends up being, we gotta, if we're going to succeed, we're going to succeed together. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's one of those types of movies, and it does it really well. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would say, and we were talking about this before we recorded, it's kind of a safe movie when it comes to those themes of racism and sexism. It doesn't get like too hardcore harsh.
Well, no, it doesn't turn into 12 Years a Slave or Mississippi Burning.
No, I mean the stuff's there.
Yeah,
but I mean, if you're gonna have a Pharrell soundtrack underneath your almost entire movie, it can't be too harsh.
No, and that's another thing I'll say about this movie is it did a good job of with the original music in the film feeling relatively period.
Yeah,
it wasn't wildly out of place.
No, definitely not. I like the soundtrack.
No, I did too. I totally did too, and it felt. It felt like it was appropriate for this time setting for this movie. It didn't seem like, it's 1963 and all of a sudden I've had the time of my life starts playing. It wasn't like that. I like the soundtrack to this film, and it's a movie that a lot of people could go see. My folks would love it. It'd be a good inspirational movie for kids to see too. Definitely. Especially smart kids, smart women, young girls, all of that. It would be a really fun movie to go see. There's nothing horribly wrong with the movie
No.
at all. It's, you know, it's one of those movies where you see the trailer for it, which we did several times in front of every movie we went to go see for the past month or two. There's no surprises in this film.
No.
Like from the trailer, you know what kind of movie you're getting
Yes.
into. You know where it's all going and all of that. It's a biopic and it's a good one. So you know what you're getting into when you go see this movie. And it's like I just said, it's a good, entertaining, upbeat, like uplifting flick.
Yeah.
You can probably decide right away from the trailer whether or not you'll like the movie or whether it's your cup of tea. I can't say that this is the kind of movie that I would jump out and go see if I wasn't reviewing things for a website, but because I do review things for a website, I'm glad that I do get a chance to go see stuff like this that I normally I'd probably be, you know, trying to seeing Underworld Blood Wars. Just unfortunate because that's not going to be as good of a movie as this.
There's always a chance, but no.
There is. There's always that chance. We just got to do the numbers.
Yeah.
We got to work out the equation, see what percentage of a chance it's
I
going
don't know.
to be.
I think it's one of those, you know, unsolvable equations.
Yeah, we need to invent the math for that. What are the odds that Underworld Blood War is going to get a higher critic rating than this?
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Do you have any?
No, yeah, like you said, you see the trailer, you're gonna know if you're gonna like it. If the trailer did nothing for you, the movie probably won't do much for you. It's a good movie. It's a safe movie. Good message, great message.
Yeah.
And it's just, I would recommend it, definitely.
No, I would too.
Especially if the trailer interested you.
Yeah, exactly. I think movies like this are, no matter what the story is, I think movies like this are cool to give like a backstory, to give a biography to people that you might not have heard of if it wasn't for a movie being made about them.
This is going to be one of those movies they show in schools eventually.
Yeah, I think so. I could picture my school showing this.
And it's perfectly cool.
Yeah, better this than Apollo 18. I don't know why I threw that movie under the bus. I actually didn't mind that movie all that much. This movie left out the part of the true story that involved space crabs. It was unfortunate. I really thought they should have left that in. But you want to give out your where we can find you at on YouTube?
The Real Gino on YouTube, ReelGeno. Like it, subscribe it, watch videos, all that good stuff. Enjoy.
Go check it out, and I'm gonna keep warm in the car, go home, and go to bed, and keep warm there. See it.